This morning, we're going to continue in terms of being exposed to different accounting firms and understanding what firms can offer. And this morning, we've got Mailer and Associates, Chris Mailer and Associates. They're out of Maryville, Tennessee. And we're just happy to have Chris and his team with us. Chris has a background in that's a little bit different than the traditional accounting. He comes from corporate America, and specifically with a Fortune 500 company. Worked with them for how many years, Chris?
Well, for 22, but total about 30.
30 years. So his background is a little bit different than your traditional CPA, your traditional accountant. Full disclosure, Chris and his firm do support First Choice, so they're our accountant. And we've been very happy to have them as a partner. So with that, we'll go ahead and turn it over to Chris.
Okay.
Can you, and before that, can you all hear us on the line? Mikey? Okay, very good. And like to do, before we start for your team, let's do a few introductions. We've got the Robinette family and Josh Robinette. We've got, with the Casual Pint, Nathan Robinette and John Robinette, the patriarch of the family, and they are the Casual Pint team. Matt Beeler with Big Kahuna Wings, and we've got Mikey Wetzel and Elizabeth Rummage with Go Burrito on the phone, and also Todd Ploskin with Stay at Home. So with that, turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you, John, and thanks for letting us come out again today. I've met some of you here before, and so it's good to see you again, and for the first timers, hello. I am Chris Mailer, the namesake of Christopher William Mailer, CPA, our formal name, at least for the time being. It's a mouthful, and we are working to try to rebrand and shorten that, and we'll deal with that at some of the time. But I have my team here. I do have 30 years of manufacturing, accounting, and operations experience prior to opening my firm 5 years ago. It does give us a little bit of a different take, I think, than a lot of the more traditional public accountants who, that's all they've ever done. So I do hope that it brings us an edge that is beneficial to our clients. Seems to be working so far for us. But with that, I've built a very good team. I have Michelle Peruski, who is our manager of bookkeeping and payroll services, and also our technology manager. And I'll let her come and introduce herself.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and run the slideshow here, so I'll just go ahead and get into that. Is everybody good hearing me? We're good? Okay. Want to start off by saying thank you guys first for giving us the opportunity to talk with you face to face and kind of share with you what we do and how we do it and what we offer. Just having the opportunity to be in front of you guys and share this information is very important. So I want to specifically say thank you, and thank you to John for setting it up and for coming out on such a lovely morning. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. I think everybody has seen the proposal that we've put together. We're the ones, you probably saw that before, the big package with all the details, the brochure on the package, the information and summary. So if you haven't seen it, get with me, we'll make sure you get a copy. So it's got about as much detail as you want, probably a little bit more. We've been told by, marketing department, yeah, you guys are definitely accountants. So anyway, it's all there, and we're happy to go through any of that with you. But for now, I think we would like to turn our focus to the who, what, and why, to give you a little bit of background to understand why we've put together what we have. So welcome to the franchise model, your path to business success. As Chris has alluded, we've got a really great team, and I'll briefly introduce them to you here. The one thing I want to just mention to you is that over the last couple years, we've really focused on building our process, our product, and our people. Yes, I know I sound like the prophet, but it really is the truth. And we've got some really good people in strategic places that we really work well and fill each other's gaps, and that was very specific. So I'm very pleased that we have this team, and I'm very happy to introduce everybody. Now, you all have met Chris. He's the headband, right? This is me. My background started in law and insurance, went into small business and ran my own business, balancing act bookkeeping, focusing on small businesses and helping them with all of their bookkeeping services. Soon after met Chris, and after about a year of informally working together, it was pretty obvious that we worked well and that we could combine our strengths and provide a much better product for our clients. I'd like to introduce you to Christy Howell. She's our head bookkeeper. Christy, you want to say just a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
Oh,
I'm supposed to be support on the side. I'm Christy Howell, and I have been with Chris Mailer for about a year and a half now, and I am a bookkeeper also. I have close to 30 years experience, primarily construction accounting, human resources, special focus with payroll, office administration. So hopefully I fill in a few gaps and would love to work with you guys.
And we're both QuickBooks Pro advisors.
Yes, I forgot.
And restaurant accounting specialists. You know, we just can't forget those things.
I know.
Okay. All right. Kim Workman. She is our tax specialist, a registered tax preparer.
I'm Kim Workman. I'm a registered tax preparer. I usually work on individual returns and also problem resolution, tax problem resolution for our individual clients. That's pretty much it.
Kim used to be in management for several years with
Jackson Hewitt. Yes.
So
Yeah.
we're really lucky to have her here this year.
Oh, and I have about 8 years of experience. I forgot to say.
Okay.
All right.
I lost some else. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm fine.
I'm Evelyn Mailer, and I'm Chris's wife, and my background is in banking and in administration. I answer the phones, and I'm the administrative support team. I'm also have experience in, and I'm kind of a backup for bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes as well. So I'm just kind of your go-to person if you have any problems or questions. If somebody's not available, then I can kind of help steer through that.
Thanks, Evelyn. Thank you. And that is our illustrious team. So I know your guys are thinking, okay, so why are we different? You know, probably talked to a lot of CPAs. I want to just kind of touch on a couple key reasons that I think that we stand out from other CPA firms. First of all, I want you to understand that we are a full-service firm. Most traditional CPA firms will come in, charge you by the phone call, by the form. We see ourselves as your accounting partners. We're here to help you. We're not going to piecemeal it. We give you one monthly fee that you know ahead of time, and we are here to do everything you need accounting-wise. Moreover, all of us, actually 4 out of the 5 of us, are actual business owners, small business owners ourselves. We have been where you are. We are where you are. We understand small business needs. We understand cash flow. We understand HR problems and getting the right team and getting your product, because that's where we are too. That's why I mentioned where our focus has been the last couple years is really getting us to efficient processes, an exceptional product, and the right people so that we are able to scale as well. So we're all, I think, in the same mindset, and I think that's important, as opposed to maybe a larger firm where you're going to get a partner or an associate who's been in corporate America all their life and never run a business. As you all, I'm sure, know, when you become a business owner, it's like a metamorphosis. Your mind changes and you just can't go back. It's hard to explain, but I'm sure I don't have to explain to this group. With that said, we want to help you grow your bottom line. We want to see you succeed. We're going to measure our success in part by how well you do. So we have intrinsic interest in understanding your business and what you really need. You're going to get the benefit of an entire team of professionals. Sure, you could go out and you could hire yourself a bookkeeper. Forgive me for saying that. Or assign somebody internally, here, you do the books. For the same price, less money actually, than the cost of one internal hire, you get an entire team of professionals who have dedicated themselves to learning this particular field. We know accounting, we know bookkeeping, we know QuickBooks. That's what we're here for. So you're not hiring just one person, you're hiring an entire support team. And as Chris had alluded to you, one of the things that we have made a point of, and I think John can attest to this, is we're accessible. You can reach me pretty much anytime as you need it, and that's something that we want to do. So he's got my cell phone, heck, John's got my home number, and I'm okay with it. You know, call me on the weekend, that's okay. If something's coming up, we're going to be here for you. We do not see ourselves, you know, as just, you know, an out here. This is a customer. We're going to work 9 to 5. Like I said, it's a different mindset for who we are and what we do. We are your partners. It's like being the door down the hall that you can open without the risk and the cost of it. Okay. In short, we make it easy, allowing you to focus on your business and giving you that peace of mind, knowing we've got your back, we've got you covered. So what we offer, these are just a blanket of services: full accounting, bookkeeping, payroll and HR support, business consultation, tax strategy and preparation, forecast and trend analysis, KPIs, key performance indicators, okay, and scorecard and analytics. In short, dedicated business support to you. So up to this point, we've really kind of touched on the what's. Now I want to get a little bit more into the how and the why, okay? Our process starts with good data. That is the key. And that's kind of what I alluded to before. Yes, you could hire someone or assign it to somebody, you know, an $8 an hour employee, but the key, the accuracy, the reliability, and that foundation cannot be understated. It's extremely important. As far as our process, I want to just give you an overview of how all this works. Your primary data source is your point of sale, okay? Peachworks being your point of sale manager, or whatever you're using, future point of sale, digital dining, whatever that may be. That's where we're going to start. That's your boots on the ground. That's the data walking in and out of that door. That is the key data that we need to measure too, okay? Data will also come through our payroll module as we're handling your payroll for you. We take care of all that, so we're going to be pulling data from payroll as well. And let me just step aside just one quick second to tell you so that you understand. Everything I'm telling you here and showing you is going to be fully accessible to you. We don't do anything that isn't fully visible. So you'll have full access to payroll, you'll have full access to QuickBooks, to your books. Every step of the way you have full access to. It's up to you if you want to go in it and look at it. That's your choice. But a lot of, and I say that because a lot of firms will work off the grid. In other words, they'll take your information, put it into their own system, house it on their server, do their thing, and then just give you reports. That's not my philosophy. That is not our business model. Our business model is based on helping you understand your information. So everything is fully visible. If you choose to have us do your bills, that would be another source of data. It's kind of cool, actually. We have different services that we can use on your specific needs. But one of the services we use, you can have a dedicated fax number, dedicated email. basically you can consider us your billing department. Have your vendors take it up with your billing department, just like the doctor's office. You don't want to deal with your vendors? You don't have to. Send it all to the billing department and we'll process it. But we're not authorizing anything because we're going to just process it, and then you're going to get an email at the frequency you select, most select once a week, asking you if you authorize these transactions. And so you are the one in control. You're the one saying, yes, it's okay to pay. But it's all easy for you. Online, you can see exactly what you owe, when you owe it. So there's nothing behind the scenes. And again, you don't have to deal with that paperwork if you choose not to. Royalties, as a standard, we're going to post the royalties. Every franchisor is going to have an authorized net portal, as I understand it. So that makes it very simple. At the end of the week, we can run the report, know the amount, and just go right in and post your payments. So you're not waiting on data. You're not waiting on anything. It's all very seamless and automatic, essentially. And all this data is going to get consolidated, along with other data, of course, into your QuickBooks Online file, like I said, which you're going to have access to. That's where we're going to get everything reconciled, classified, managed there. Now that we have all your data, and it's a lot of it, right? We're going to take care of the tax forms, government remittances, prepare your financial reports, and we're going to put everything into an online, dedicated documents portal, secure, so that you can easily access it. So you're not having to go to QuickBooks to pull your report. You don't have to go here to look at the bills. You don't have to go to payroll. We're going to make it easy. This is our sample of some of the reports that would be ready for you under one login in our secure portal. And all of this, by the way, I failed to mention, I did print out the presentation in case you want to take notes or refer to it later. So the notes are in there, as well as a handy dandy tax guide that has got some really awesome information that we wanted to share. Okay, so we've talked about a little bit about our process. You guys know our plan, the proposal. Now I want to get to the key of it, the why. Why do we do this? Why is this important? It's about data. It's about wisdom. It's about giving you real value for those numbers. That's the true opportunity. We start with your data. That's your accounting numbers. All those numbers we just generated, everything we just talked to you about, that's data. But you know what? It means zero. It means absolutely nothing if that's all it is numbers. If you've ever experienced an accountant that just gives you your financial report, you take it, file it in your drawer, that's great. It's good for Uncle Sam, but is it good for you? That's not what we want to see happen. We want to make sure that your data means something. So we're looking to build on that. But that said, that is your foundation. It has been said, I love this quote, though accounting systems themselves may be inexpensive, but they become very costly in the hands of an untrained person. Okay, so we're going to take your data and we're going to move it into the information stage. Now, what does that mean? That essentially means your reports. We're taking those numbers, those key pieces of data, and putting them into a usable format that starts to make some sense. That's the next level on the pyramid. That's usually where most accounting firms stop, okay? Actually, most businesses stop. We want to go further than this. So again, we showed you all the reports that we're going to give you. So you already kind of know what information you've got coming. But that's not all, because we're going to do a lot more for you. We've actually invested in setting up a dedicated website just for franchises. And hopefully I can get to this without too much difficulty. And I just wanted to take a moment and show you some of the resources that we have available on it.
Will you click over to it?
Yeah, please. I can't see it from here.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that was it, wasn't it?
That is it. Okay, so if I can find my mouse, this is our dedicated website. And it's posted on your material so you can find it later. This presentation, by the way, will be uploaded also. It'll be posted so you can go through it at your leisure if you want to. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going through all the specific scrolling details, but it does cover more in detail about us as a firm, our mission, our values, and each of us individually, the benefits of our service, which a lot of that is covered in the brochure we've given you, as well as our process, which is step by step, kind of what we talked about, just in more detail. Our services, same thing, in more detail. The franchise packages, like we've got there. And the just for the franchisor information. This one, the mouse doesn't want to work for me. Some FAQs and our additional services. But what I really want to showcase here are some of the extra stuff that we have. We've got forms and documents, if this will come up. It's not clicking.
I wouldn't count on it. Internet
Is
is
it
spotty at best.
Okay, well, I'll walk through it.
It should work, but
Yeah, just click on it
Got it
again. I
now.
don't think it.
there you go, yeah.
Okay, so we've got some helpful forms. These are just forms that everybody needs in a business that we hear all the time. Helpful links. Some quick links for services, financing, other support services, first choice. All of that's all in here. Recommended resources. Look them up. Doesn't want to load the page.
That might be me, so
Okay.
it's on my phone right now, so.
Oh, okay. So let me tell you, we've got some specific recommendations here. We've got accounting and hospitality book, basically the handbook that is your granddaddy handbook, and we highly recommend it. Talks a lot about what we do and why we do accounting, how, read your finances, financial statements, what's important to look for, key measures, ratios, all of that. Also some other strategic books that go into more building profits in the hospitality industry. We've got some books, E-Myth, I hope you all have heard of that, fantastic book. Outliers, another really good book. So those kinds of things in the resource center here. Okay. Tax tips, tax center, not going to go into all that. Client only page. We've got a franchise dashboard, which I think is going to be really helpful for you if I can get to it. Would you type in the number 4, franchise? We put together a dashboard of all the websites that we think that you're going to need to access on a regular basis, so you have it all in one place. The question marks will take you right to the support documents for it. I can't scroll, but future POS is under here too. There's a universal CRM y'all decide you want. I can add it. This is meant, there you go. It's meant to be quick and easy access to your data, which is what we're all about. Scroll me back up.
Sorry.
Okay. And that, I think, is the jump. Oh, there's one other thing in here, if I can get over to it. I'm struggling a little bit getting the mouse.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you, we've also have some industry links to some important articles, the EMV stuff, the things that are going on in your industry, the numbers for, there we go, fast casual, why it's so cool, the costs and trends, some things going on. So this in general is our website. This is something we're going to keep up. There's also videos and white papers and everything for members only that are posted on here. Again, the goal here is to provide information for you to help build that pyramid. Can you help me get to
Yeah,
back to
go
the...
back to Prezi.
Yes, please.
I think it's, nope, it's not.
Okay, that's it.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
If I can just get my mouse.
hold on, let me, okay, so, present?
Yeah.
I can move the mouse down to the bottom if you want.
Please do.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Just click.
So we just kind of covered all that. So our next level is knowledge, okay? We talked about data. We talked about information. But what do you do with it? This is where you start to really stand out. How do we do it? That's where we start getting to your key performance indicators, your trends, your benchmark data, all of those things that'll really help to bring the data to life. Okay? These are some of the samples of the graphic visuals that we provide. You can see benchmarks, you can see KPIs, and a very clear dashboard. Now, in particular for your franchisors, you guys, or for franchisees who have a number of stores, we also have the ability to rank your franchises. So we can take their data beyond what Peachworks provides. Because now we're not just looking at the sales data, we're also looking at the expenses. We're looking at your percentages as a whole. So we're able to really get you benchmarks and rankings between all of your locations. And you know who's performing, who's not performing, where do you need to spend the time. Tell your franchises where they rank. It also produces exception reports so you can stay on top of problems before they become too big to handle. Ultimate goal, wisdom. That's being able to take all of this and apply it in situations where you don't have data in front of you. That's where the magic is. That's being able to use your intuition. That's being able to make good strategic business decisions. That's where we want you to be. And that's how we're going to help you get here. We want to see you soar above your competitors. But remember, it starts with accurate information gathered from your accounting system. Without that, none of this is possible. So let us help you be your partners. That's the presentation, so I'm going to turn it over to Chris and help him in time. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, thank you. So we've met the who of our firm. We've been through the how. You've seen, I think previously, the what, and it's on the website she showed you if you need to refer back to that. What exactly we offer and how, and the flexibility of it. We understand that a lot of folks have their own tax preparers, so that may not be a part of the services you need. We hope it is, but if not, we understand. So that leaves next the why. Why us? And I think it can be summed up very quickly, and something we've learned as we've worked through trying to shorten that long name that we have for a firm into something that comes off the tongue a little easier and doesn't take up a minute and a half of airtime if we ever have to buy airtime for ads or something. And it's first that because we have integrity, and that's not to say our competitors don't, because I think almost all folks in our business do. There may be a rogue operator or two out there, but most have integrity. But we are, I like to put it, we have moral integrity. The second thing, and I think it's a big differentiator, is we make ourselves accessible. Again, I spent 30 years in operations, in manufacturing, and I understand that when the machine goes down at 2 in the morning, somebody needs to be reached. And if the data's not feeding, it was always the accountant who had to go and find out why the old IBM System 34 wasn't firing up and sending data out for the guys for the scheduling. So we understand that we want to be accessible. And then the third thing is performance. And again, we understand that and we strive for that. We put it into the acronym MAP, our moral integrity, our accessibility, our performance. It ties in with the name change that we'll be coming. We are going to become Mailer Accounting Practice because what we want to do is help you to map your way to success. And Michelle has talked about that. So the last question to answer is the when. When can we start being of service to you? A question that has come up as we go into the question and answer time, I want to go ahead and address it because it ties in with the when, is we've been asked, well, okay, there's 5 of you. We've got, in one case here, 9 stores and maybe 28 or so are on the slate. We're going to come fast. How can you absorb that, or how fast can you scale up to that? We have been working on that in terms of our IT infrastructure. We've been preparing for that in terms of our location, our ability to handle more people. We will be relocating 1 block over from where we are now in about 6 months. So we've got the space to add the people. We are working with an HR professional to make sure that our hiring, our recruiting practices are the best, so that as we need to add account managers, that we do surface the best people and people who can hit the ground running for our clients. We've been working with the Tennessee Rural Development Group on procuring a line of credit so that we can finance this and hit the ground running with it and not try to piecemeal it as we go, because you don't have time for that either, and it's the best way to service you. So that's kind of the win. We're ready. We've got capacity now, and we've got all our plans in place to grow just as fast as you want to grow, and can grow, and will grow, and maybe even outpace you. So that's us in a nutshell, and with that I will open the floor to questions, and everybody's fair game. So if you have any questions, let us know.
Your bill pay, explain how the process works, because obviously I've got tons of invoices coming in on a daily basis.
The primary service that I use right now is Bill.com, and that is the accounts payable and receivable service. It will allow people to pay you and for you to pay out. As far as your royalties, the easy thing is authorized.net, so we wouldn't be using it for that. But Bill.com will allow us basically to set everything up, again, as a dedicated fax line and email. So you tell your vendors, we can actually contact your vendors ourselves, email them out, say, hey, we'd like to connect you, send everything here. We can set you up bank to bank, right? So it's less expensive and quicker and easier for everybody. And then just send the bills over to us. As soon as we get them in, I will go ahead and process all your data. In other words, classify it, make sure everything's entered properly. All of that goes into QuickBooks. You are given, sent an email, like I said, at the time that you choose. Most people select once a week, and you will get an email format listing all the bills that have been processed for that week, the amounts, the due dates, and the ability to hit approve on those. As soon as you hit approve, they are processed for electronic transmittal. If the vendor has allowed bank to bank, it'll be directly sent electronically. If the vendor has not, they will generate an electronic check and physically mail it to them. All that data is put into QuickBooks. It syncs over, so it's going to be accessible to you there as well. So it all works very seamless. It gives you control. The authorization is there. When you're seeing it, it also has PDFs of it, so you're seeing the actual invoice as well.
If in my business, there's a lot of times that products were ordered and not shipped, but I get the invoice with it on there.
Mm-hmm.
So the correction process, if it's all going to you, is that something I have to notify you every time that comes in?
There's more than one way of handling things. With that, what I'd say is probably your best bet would be for us to work together to set up POs through QuickBooks, so you're not having to do it in multiple places, and then it's a matter of matching it. But as far as one thing that has to happen, and it's going to happen no matter who does what, is somebody in your office, in your store, needs to be responsible for checking off the products and that they're there. Okay, that it's what you've ordered. That's why POs are important. Otherwise, people are just, okay, I guess we ordered them, they're good, here it is, and submit it. So it's a 2-check process. So if you're doing it through QuickBooks, it's going to check against that. It's also, once it goes into the bill pay system, it's a double check there. So what I'm saying is we're not going to process anything if the goods are not received. When you're doing it in QuickBooks, and it's kind of hard to just talk it and not show you,
Sure.
But you can select it as goods received with bill or bill received without goods. There's different levels. So that would be one thing that we would want to make sure on, if that's how your vendors work, that the product is there before any invoice is actually paid out. But I think that's a simple process that can easily be worked through. That's not a difficult thing at all. You just have to see it in action.
And Michelle, didn't you say that they approve each, you get an email that you approve what to pay?
Right, exactly, that's what I'm
Right.
saying, it's a multiple step. So ultimately, you're the authorized person, you're the signer, okay? You're going to be the one saying, yeah, it's good. Does that make sense? And let me just throw in here too, because I don't think I actually mentioned this. One thing that we do as a standard is pull the data into your QuickBooks file on a regular basis. So when you are actually looking at QuickBooks, did you decide you want to, you're looking at real-time data. You're not waiting, 30 days, 60 days in some cases to get your report to know where you're standing. You have actual data real time. That's important. Your reports are actually going to get to you probably within 2-3 weeks, but those are the official reports. But your data is pretty much real time.
Can I ask you a question on KPIs? How do you work with companies in terms of identification of KPIs, and then how do you report KPIs and KPI performance specifically under reporting stores, or are not under performing stores back to the franchisor for early identification?
It comes in two ways. First, well, actually, that's a threefold question. So first, let me address how do we establish the KPIs. That's individual to the store. So we come on board, we're going to sit down with you, we're going to talk to you about your data and what is important to you. What do you want to measure? What makes sense? Is it, well, I mean, it's going to be your standard. You're going to, of course, want to know your, I think it chirped at me or something. You're going to want to know your revenue, your profit, but maybe you're going to want to know your percentage of labor, right, to your income. You want to know how much you're spending in supplies. You're going to want to know what your waste is. Whatever those particular things are that will make the most sense to you, the most relevance, that's what we're going to focus on. So we're going to pick 5-6 particular metrics and build around that, okay? Now, your standard financials are going to have percentage markers. So down the board, you're already going to see, like, your cost of goods is this percentage of income. So you're already seeing this, okay? But as far as an actual KPI, we've got a dashboard, which is in the material. Where's that sheet? Here it is. Well, not that one, it's in the insert. It looks like this. This is what I'm referring to. So it'll give you a graphical representation of the KPIs that you select. Okay? So it's individual to the franchise or company. Because what Casual Pint measures may not be what Big Kahuna wants to measure. So it's going to be specific, but it's going to be in this type of format. The last thing, John, you asked about is how do you know who's performing and who isn't? That comes in another report through the same company that shows that's the one that does the ranking and the benchmarking, and it will pull out the exceptions. And that's based on the data we tell it to. So we're going to tell it, look for this percent. This is where it is. Anything above that or below that, we need to see it in the exceptions report. So it'll be generated that way. Does that answer your question?
How much flexibility is in this dashboard for you to
A lot.
compare, like store to store, week to week, draft for draft,
There's-
package for package?
This is truly an amazing product. If we were to go into it, it gives you like 50 different types of graphs and charts that we can select. We can customize the data and how we want to see it. And what you're talking about as far as dates, that's just a plugin. You're just putting in the date parameter. Actually, to that point, let me just quickly mention, a lot of restaurants like to see their data in a weekly format versus monthly. That's easily accomplished. We can easily take care of that for you. So you're comparing apples to apples, My goal is to give you data that works for you, not to make life easier on me. It's just a matter of changing a parameter and giving you different reports. It can be done if you want it. Anybody else? Questions, thoughts, anything?
Do we have access to that tool that you're talking about?
We have access to
By
everything.
ourselves?
I even have it on that dashboard for you. one click, you'll sign in, obviously, but yeah, you'll have access to this. And it ties into your QuickBooks, so you're able to go in your real-time data when you want it.
One thing, we can set up different parameters for different regions, correct?
I didn't hear that last part.
We can set up different parameters for different regions, such as southeast region, northeast region, et cetera, based on the region that the stores are in to measure those KPIs.
We'd have to do it under like a separate company, but yeah, it can be done. We just have to establish it that way. You know what I mean? Break you up. It'd be like you have 4 different companies. But yeah, we could set that up.
Yeah, and does that need further explain?
Yeah.
Knoxville or store in East Tennessee, store in Lexington, Kentucky, store in Omaha, Nebraska, store in Chandler, Arizona. 4 completely different sales type areas. We're going to need 4 completely different KPIs possible.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. Let me be clear on that, because there's 2 different things going on here, okay? The KPIs are tied to a store, a location. So it's specific to that location. The other set that I showed you, the benchmarking and ranking, that's your global, okay? So if you wanted to do the global, I actually think we can do it by region, just haven't tried doing that yet, but I bet you that's an option. But the KPIs themselves are going to be tied to the store. This is a local product.
At a minimum, you'd be able to download that and you can sort it and come up with a report, so.
The customization is pretty unlimited with the stuff.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is the exception reports, if they're not set up regionally specific,
Yeah,
they can be very misleading to that
Sure.
particular store owner.
I
So
understand.
I would, make sure that, again, we're more specific in that region.
I feel about 95% sure it could be set up, your ranking set up regionally. I've never tried it, so I will not say 100%. However, if for that 5% that it doesn't, the solution is just simply to set it up as 4 identities and set up the different ones. So we'll make it work. I think it'll just work automatically because honestly, this product is made for franchisors. They're made for you. So we're dealing with, hundreds of locations, globally. So I don't think that is going to be something that would be difficult. But I will not say 100% unless I specifically look at it, but I know we could do a workaround if we had to.
So is that like a third-party software program?
It is.
That's what it is?
This is Spotlight reporting.
So we're looking at a program currently called Vero that does something similar that integrates directly with the point-of-sale system that we can kind of generate different information from. We're just testing it right now.
Understand.
The Vero
Yeah,
is?
that's one of that. It looks very similar. And
The-
that's something that you all provide.
Here's the difference. Because it sounds similar to Peachworks. I know Peachworks will give you a lot of comparative data.
Yeah.
But when you're tying in the data to point of sale, you're only
Getting sales.
getting sales. You're only
absolutely.
getting one piece of it.
Yes.
Whereas we're for putting this here to your actual accounting software, you're getting the whole picture.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's a more robust and broader,
Yeah. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm with you.
and it's got different things actually. This allows us to do different types of reports. A dashboard in and of itself for your KPIs that lets us do trends, budgets, as well as the benchmark and rankings. So there's a lot of abilities that it has. Anybody else? Anything?
I have a question. I apologize for being late, so I'm
Not at
sorry I
all.
may have missed this at the beginning, but with the pricing of it, the first thing you kind of mentioned that stuck out to me was, it's one price for the month, and then I noticed there was a lot of different services, which sounds like it's kind of ad hoc, like we can pick this or pick that.
Mm-mm. No,
Yeah, you
we've
missed
got
that at the beginning.
Okay.
No,
Don't
actually,
work that way.
hold on.
Yeah.
We have the 3 different price levels, okay?
I don't have one of those sheets, I'm sorry.
We'll fix that.
Okay.
Here you go. There's 3 different price levels,
Okay.
and that specifies the level of service that you want.
Okay.
But once you pick that package, that's what you have. We're not going to add on to all of this. What we're wanting to do on the front end is know what you want, where you want to be, and then set
Okay.
you up in the right package for it. And then you don't have to worry about, okay, we're going to charge you this, we're going to charge you that, we're going to charge you for your W-2s at the end of the year, we're going to charge you, the stamps for this.
This answers
Because
it,
it
it's very
happens.
helpful, yeah.
So that's how that runs. Better for us, better for you. We're not having to, we don't want to be that place.
Piecemeal, right.
We don't want to be that place.
What's your experience in franchising?
Go ahead, Chris.
We do work with a franchise operation right now, the Buttermilk Sky Pie folks. We've been working with them for 2 years plus now. Met them originally here through John, now they're out on their own. Like I said, we worked with John. We've worked with him also for a little over 2 years, and kind of developed a lot of this stuff in tandem with John, and as we picked his brain in what makes sense, what doesn't.
We have the franchisees as well as the franchisors.
Right.
So it's the full range.
That's right, we're doing both sides of that. And then from a broader standpoint, we are picking up a lot of restauranting business from the fast casual to the more formal dining with some outfits up in the Townsend area. So Michelle and Christy have gone to become certified in restaurant accounting management, and because we do see that as a growing niche, it seems like one of the few things everybody has to do in life is eat. So restaurants aren't going away anytime soon.
And we like working with y'all.
Yeah.
We do.
And if you haven't noticed, we believe in eating. So we had great traction, all 5 of us in that car driving over here. So anyway, I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to pay the price for that.
You are.
I'm in big trouble, and I have to take them to a real nice lunch here afterward.
It's okay, we're open.
All right, there you go. And so, but that's our experience specifically with franchising is working with John and with that one client and their franchisees. So, other questions?
Lots of restaurants.
Mikey, do you have any questions from your end?
Is he been just-
No, I know, and like I said yesterday, I think that I'll be watching the videos again if we don't get the presentation or anything besides the audio.
The video, the video should be posted. I've actually did the video of the presentation. Obviously, I won't be in it, which is better anyway. But the video itself will be on the franchisecpa.net website that we've addressed, so you'll be able to watch that at your leisure.
Yes, sir.
Just looking over the pricing on this here. This monthly reconciliation for 350 transactions in the banking world, every deposit, if it has 9 checks in that deposit, that's the deposit slip, and there are 9 checks, that's 10 transactions.
No, I don't consider it like that.
Okay, you're just saying each
One
line
entry.
item- Okay.
And that's not one of those, don't want to get myself too much trouble here. The reason that it is established that way is because the amount of work required off of someone who's running 25 transactions, let's say a month, versus someone running 800 is vastly different. So we have to put some type of parameters in place to kind of protect ourselves, and that's what that's about. But
So what
the
is,
300 it pretty much is going to cover you, and if we can talk through any of this stuff on the front end if you wanted to talk with us. I promise you one thing that I am not going to do, and that is download it into Excel and start counting every line item
no, yeah, I get that.
at all. That's not what that's about.
I'm out of what we do.
Yeah, that is not what we're going to do. Anybody else?
Thank you for your time. You've got our contact information. If you do have other questions or to come up, we're accessible, so give us a call, and we'll be glad to talk through whatever it is you have on your mind. Thanks, and we hope to hear from you soon.